I promised this, so I'm going to pay it off. We like to give tributes to the presidents here on President's Day, and I thought since being it's a sports show, we could talk about athletes and presidents playing sports. Let's talk about who, if you had to put a team together, if you had to look back towards all 44 presidents, and not a basketball team, not a football team, but just a team of athletes. Put it this way: if you were going to go on American Gladiators, who would be your American presidents? So I ran them down based on sports experience, let's say size, athleticism, and then maybe a bit of an X factor. Like, I just got a feeling about some of them. So without further ado, we'll do our top 5 most athletic presidents, starting with the honorable mentions. Honorable mentions in the most athletic presidents, and of course, as always, tweet me at Kyle Brandt if you disagree, if there's snubs. You know how we do this. Honorable mention, Dwight Eisenhower. Now, you may say, why do I like Ike? Ike set a record for the most golf rounds during a presidency. That's a hard record to break. Those presidents, they golf. They golf a lot, and especially someone who's not maybe the youngest president, it's tough to get through 18 holes sometimes with the grind of the presidency. I don't know if he was the best golfer. I know he was the most devoted golfer. I like that Dwight was constantly getting back out there, teeing it high and letting it fly. Honorable mention, Dwight Eisenhower. Honorable mention, athletic president, Barack Obama. Now, maybe that's a surprise. Maybe some people think that he should be up there in the top 5 because he's always playing sports. He's always an enthusiast for sports. And that's just the thing. We've talked about this before. It ain't easy watching the president play basketball. I love it that he likes basketball, but I'm not sure basketball likes him that much. And the second I see him out there wearing not only pants, but pants with elastic at the bottom, like the tight ankle pants over what I believe appear to be New Balance sneakers and a tucked-in standard issue gray T-shirt. I'm sorry I don't want him on my team. I want to play against that guy. I respect the office. I respect the president. I just, based on some of those, I think a caller put it once, I might have been left, some of those layup off the wrong foot moments that President Obama has. And he put a basketball court in, or they have one behind the Rose Garden, and it doesn't look that pretty. I'm not looking for turnaround baseline jumpers, but can you make a layup off the right foot? Obama gets honorable mention. Also honorable mention, George W. Bush. W can run, man. He's a jogger. He will jog all day long. Great runner. Okay, I like some endurance. I like a guy who can pound the pavement. Athletic genes, which we'll get to. And it's an upset that he wasn't in the top 5 based only on the greatest first pitch ever thrown at any sporting event ever. You take your Carl Lewis's, Mariah Carey's, and all the lists you run down of the worst ones. I'll say it again. George W. Bush went into Yankee Stadium post 9/11 wearing Kevlar under his jacket and not only threw a strike, he threw a strike with movement that didn't just get over the plate, it painted the corner. Mariano Rivera hasn't thrown a better pitch than that in that stadium. It was perfect. And the circumstances and the stakes, if he throws one over the top of the catcher or 2 bounces, the terrorists have won. It was the whole thing about screw you, America, watch what our president's going to do. It was awesome. But he doesn't get in the top 5. And, I mean, he was a cheerleader in college. And I'll put it this way. He didn't make the top 5 because of legacy. Those who came before him, shall we say, were superior. Getting into the top 5. Number 5, my most athletic president, Ronnie Reagan. Something you might not know about him. Maybe this is a little bit exaggerated. Maybe there's a Brian Williams factor to it. But Ron Reagan was a lifeguard. Lifeguards, unbelievably strong, gifted, endurance-based athletes. The training they have to go through. I was a lifeguard. The training you have to go through, the test you have to pass, very rigorous. And according to the legend, Ronald Reagan had 77 rescues as a lifeguard before joining the college swim team, along with the college football team. 77 rescues. Exactly where was he rescuing these people? Where was he lifeguarding? Because he should have some sort of medal or something. I mean, I always used to say when you watch Baywatch, who would ever go to that beach? Someone drowns every single week there. Well, apparently at Ronald Reagan's beach, they drown like every day, and he saved 77 of them. Apparently, allegedly, I choose to believe it, Lee. Ronald Reagan, number 5. Number 4, upset of the century, Teddy Roosevelt. Now, I'm not saying, maybe he's not the most agile, Maybe he's not the most fleet of foot, but I like his attitude. You got to have some character guys. You got to have some attitude guys, some locker room leaders. I like the determination. I like the brawn. He may be in the best athlete because of his energy, his build, and his competitive attitude. Have you seen some of the hunting pictures that Teddy Roosevelt? He used to take down elephants and woolly mammoths and whatnot. He was afraid of nothing. There was no target too big, no animal too fierce. I liked it. I want Teddy on my team. I'm not saying he's going to be a guy who's going to steal bases for me, who's going to return kicks, but I want him in the huddle. Put it that way. Number 3, top 5 most athletic presidents. We went through the honorable mentions, 5 and 4. Number 3 is number 1, George Washington. Physically superior to anyone in that era. We're talking 18th century here. The internet says he was 6'2", which in, the 1770s was like 6'9" in 2015. He was a massive man. Looks very, very heroic in that painting coming across the river. That alone, that's what we'd hang in our locker room. Like, that would be our play like a champion today. It would be just a painting of Bush going across the river. Or, excuse me, Washington going across the river. I was getting ahead of myself. Bush did some other things. But I like it. He was also a soldier, so he didn't back down. He had military service. He was built, and he was strong, and he was tall, and he was obviously like the guy he's on the $1 bill. He's our man. George Washington obviously is on my team. Cut down cherry trees like he was being paid to do it. One whack of that axe, forget about it. Number 2 in the top 5 most athletic presidents, George H.W. Bush. You might not know that. There's a lot of things about Bush Sr. people didn't know. I myself didn't know until recently he was the head of the CIA. That's awesome. He knows crazy stuff. You want guys with intel, and he tells me he's going to scout, he's going to have IQ. He's also a College World Series baseball player. He's a war hero. He's an overall athlete. And you know why he gets on this list? Because I saw that man skydiving, jumping out of a plane like 10 minutes ago in his 90s or something like that. That's insane. So George W. Bush is absolutely, read my lips, he's number 2. And look, he's genetics passed on to W. Bush, who became one of the great presidential joggers. So HW is the number 2. Number 1, hail to the victors. Number 1 athlete president, Gerald Ford. You know why? Because we don't have to project what he would be like if he was an athlete or a basketball player, a football player. He was an actual football player. He was an actual star. 2 national championship teammates at physical positions. Center, the guy played center, he played linebacker. Either one of those positions. Gerald Ford was meeting fullbacks in the hole. He was pulling, he was turning on the D tackles, he was opening up holes, and he was filling holes in the same game. Iron Man playing football in the Big Ten when the Big Ten was the Big Ten. Respect to Ohio State this year. It was really the Big Ten back there. Most athletic president, Gerald Ford. Now, we've kind of come full circle in today's topics because we talked about Chevy Chase last night not looking athletic at the reunion. A lot of people of a certain generation, you think of Gerald Ford, you think of Chevy Chase falling down stairs and falling off ladders doing his impression. Unfortunately, now Chevy Chase couldn't get up those stairs or that ladder. But that's not really... Gerald Ford had a few falls, a few shortcomings as president, certainly. But, man, you put him on that field against Ohio State, Michigan State, what have you, he will fire off that ball. He will run down the outside sweep. Gerald Ford, number 1 athlete president. If you disagree, at Kyle Brandt. If you agree, at Kyle Brandt.